All right. Welcome to the first attempt at explaining what the heck is happening during the current iteration of the Baldur's Gate speedrun. So, let's start with character creation. Uh, so, Baldur's Gate, an old AD&D game. It runs on the Infinity engine. It's old, but starting around like 2016 or so, BioWare and whoever else was making this decided to start re-releasing all of the old Infinity Engine games as enhanced editions or remasters. As a result, they went back into the engine and fixed a lot of the old issues or the really buggy content that used to be there. So, we unfortunately don't have any of the truly cheesy strats anymore. We're hoping to find new ones. But, anyway, character creation. We're making a bard because bards is the superior class in every form of D&D. Your gender does not matter. It has no bearing on your stats whatsoever. Character profile. Pick one that you want to stare at. You want to be a half-elf. For the simple reason of this right here. The only reason you don't want to be a full elf is that -1 to Constitution. We need as much health as we can get at all times. So if we take that -1 penalty, we get 1 less health per level at a minimum. So, half-elf. Class. As I said before, we're going to be a bard. Bard, specifically a bard blade. Now, we aren't actually going to make use of almost any of the advantages except for this very important ability, the offensive spin. It allows us to double our movement rate. So this means before we get our boots of speed, somewhere on chapter 5, we can still have double movement speed as long as we've rested recently. So, Bard Blade. Alignment has no bearing. Stat rolls. We are looking for anything over 83. So, however you end up finding it, or if you're like me and you just happen to go screaming past good rolls, you're just looking for an 83 or better. You want max charisma. We need that for some dialogue options. We need max constitution and max dexterity. Now, we need a minimum of 13 intelligence, largely because we're capped because we're half-elf. Preferably, we want 15. And that just helps the modifiers for all of our spells. And if you have any leftover points, you can dump them into either intelligence or strength. As you attack one thing. So, as long as you can kill it reasonably quickly, we're in pretty good shape. You cast quite a few more spells than you do fighting. Skills. We use a quarterstaff. Therefore, we use two-handed weapon style. That's it. It's the only weapon we're going to use in the game. It's the one we start with. Appearance and voice, we don't care. Caps lock. That is us. So, that all makes sense. We just dive right in. Now, welcome to Candlekeep. We'll be back. I've done a number of key bindings to help myself out. Traditionally, everything in your bottom row down here is bound to the F row, So, starting at F1, going to F12, every one of those things can be selected to do its action. However, hitting F12 is kind of a pain on most keyboards. So I bound mine to F, which is where we have all of our special abilities. So the main protagonist of most of these AD&D style games ends up with special abilities as they progress. They're all storyline based abilities. They're scripted, they're known. But to start, well, some classes, like the Bard Blade, store their other special abilities, their class abilities, in the same menu. So, there's our offensive spin. Other key bindings I've done. I have put my keyboard scrolling on WASD, WASD, largely just out of a comfort factor. It's used to moving cameras with it. It's happy. We do not use, other options that are available in Baldur's Gate story mode we don't use. It gives us max stats and makes all the combat trivial. So there's pretty much no way you can die during any of the boss fights. That kind of defeats the purpose. We need to have some danger here. Cloud saves, whatever. They don't matter. Area map doesn't matter. Multiplayer we're not using. Gore doesn't slow us down. Weather doesn't slow us down. Group infravision, we're a half elf. We don't care. Rest until healed, keep that off. Specifically because we're going to be taking a lot of damage at certain times, and we don't want to sit around. Even though the rest cycle in-game doesn't take any longer if you rest for 8 hours or if you rest for 30 hours, there is one timing element that is crucial that we don't want to screw up because we accidentally rested when we were hurt. Same thing for max HP and level up. We're going to get what we're going to get. You usually do really well anyway. So, no difficulty-based damage increase. We're on normal mode. We don't care. And after depleting ammo, we don't use ranged weapons. So, we don't care. Other keys. Important keys. Your inventory. Your inventory is pretty self-explanatory. We'll spend a lot of time in it. Your character information. That is where we go to level up and immediately remove some party members that we are forced to gain. Pretty much everything else is non-necessary. I like having return to game. It just closes everything that is currently open. So if you are in the inventory, or if you're in the person selection screen, or a couple of menus deep somewhere, you can just push return to game, and there it is. As I said earlier, special abilities, I'm down to F. Quick load and quick save, very important for me. If you are better at this game than I am, you need these less often. The game does auto-save on the exit of any zone. So there are pre-built-in save points for you, which is super nice. I use quick saves that save my exact location and then can immediately reload with quick load so that I can retry from that exact save location. So I use this for a couple of fights and before I do my rests. So in case I get a random encounter, I can just reload, try again, because they're all random encounters. The last piece is quick loot. So quick loot allows you to pick up items without actually wandering over the corpse that dropped it. It's very handy. And that's it, really, for key bindings. We keep it simple here. So, you've started your game, you're ready to start your Baldur's Gate speedrun. You need to offensive spin. And then we move. we are going to move here. This is where Gorion is. How did he find me? This is what I get for pausing for so long. That's Imoen. We don't want to talk to Imoen. So we choose the first option, which is, hey Gorion, we're ready to leave. One of the new features they've added in the Enhanced Edition, the 2.5 patch specifically, is the ability to skip these beginning cutscenes. So we meet Sarevok, and we, watch our friend and mentor die, and that's all fine and good, so we just skip through it. We then meet Imoen out of the town, and we have one of two options. Option 1, please join us. Option 2, go home, child. We want to steal everything that she has before we say go home, child. So, we take all of her potions, and we just put them onto our character. That's it. Simple as that. You then exit to the bottom. Hopefully your characters don't freeze on it. We are unlocking High Hedge. We are going to come back to High Hedge later. We're just unlocking it right now. Then, because I haven't rested yet, I have not replenished my offensive spin, so therefore, I rest. And then I select just my main character, and I spin away. Bye, Imoen. We will not see you again until Siege of Dragonspear. We come up, we avoid that guy who's trying to talk to us. Anytime you see that kind of white ring that's bouncing around a character here, that means they're either talking to you or they're trying to talk to you. We come up here and we meet Zar and Montaran. They are evil folk, but they have items, so we're going to take them. For Zar, we dash through the initial dialogue and I say, yeah, I'd love your help. So, option 1. Bounce around some more, and then we go, sure, I would join with you, but I must meet someone first. Perhaps you'll go with me. So this is just our way to say, sure. We get a little gold from those options, and that gold is very important when we try and identify some items later. Now, we want to run away from these folk. And that's just to give us a little bit of separation, because anytime you remove somebody from a party, they want to talk to you, to say, hey, we were friends, right? Why? Why do you do this to me? And the answer is, well, I just wanted you for your stuff. So, you get some space, you go into the party, and you hit Reform Party. After you took everything Montaran had, which is 2 potions and the studded leather armor that you immediately equip. Now, we've taken everything, we've removed everybody from the party, I rest. And it is the fastest way. Oh, there they are, trying to talk to me.
You're a queer fellow.
That's what we try and avoid. So,
I am here.
out of the Reform Party screen, I rest, I select my character again, and then I immediately run away to avoid being talked to, unlike what I just did. We go over here. Meet Elminster. We avoid him, I think, 3 times, because who wants to talk to the most powerful mage in the Forgotten Realms? Nobody. So, we come up here to this bush. This bush, I am holding tab. That is the traditional location for find hidden item or find lootable item that is on the ground. And it just highlights whatever it is that's available. So, enemy loot, hidden objects, whatever. That is not a trap. It's important. So, we head up to the Friendly Arms Inn. We rest again. We spin again. And then we head east to this rock. This very lovely rock with that very tiny bit. So now, we've got 2 magical rings. That is indicated by that blue hue. They can be identified one of like 3 ways. There are identify scrolls available in the game. A bard or a wizard of some kind with high enough lore can sometimes identify the more common items. Those scrolls can also be learned by wizards so that they can be put into a spell book and identified that way. The final way is through certain merchants scattered throughout the world who charge a fee for the identification of any item in the game. Thankfully, it's a flat fee. So, we went to our rock, we continued running east until we arrived at the next wall. We are unlocking Baldur, which is fine and good. We will come back to that quite a bit later. Friendly Arms Inn has a very, very low encounter rate. Therefore, we'd like to rest before we leave. Go back to High Hedge. And here we have been ambushed. Ambushes are a lot like random encounters when you are resting. As you move through space to space, there's a chance that you will be intercepted by some form of wild critter. So you can see that there's traveling hours involved. So for every 2 or 4 hour period, a chance is rolled, and you have the opportunity to be ambushed by something. This comes into play quite a bit later on, and it's very important. So, we went back to High Hedge. We ran kind of southeast, mostly east, to this edge. Thing to note, you cannot rest in named cities. The city guard don't like it. They don't like vagabonds and bums. So, before you enter any major city, rest so that you can spin. So now, we head down, just kind of follow the outline of the buildings into Feldpost Inn. We are immediately going to get talked to by this guy, Marl. Marl's a little drunk. Yeah, he told us. So, Marl's got a fun story. We don't really care about it. We're just going to push 1133 to add some dialogue again, hit 1 again. So that's 1133, some dialogue, mashing, 1 again. For that, we learn about, Marl's son, and something tragic that happened. Most importantly, we get 900 experience, which gets us very close to our first level. Now, I wander over to the innkeep and say, "Hey, innkeep, I need a place to stay." Innkeep goes, "Sure, I've got a perfect place for you for 1 gold." Great, so now we have refreshed our offensive spin, and now we need to go kill a dude. So, this is hopefully the only time you're going to have to swing your staff. You just offensive spin, you kill Algernon, you take his cloak. Because he shouldn't be wearing it, he should just give it to us, but we're not good enough pickpockets, and he doesn't have a dialogue option for us to just take it. So we leave the inn, we leave to the south. We offensive spin our way out, and then we end up back in High Hedge. So while we are in High Hedge, same thing we do all the time. Rest, spin, then we're going to head west and a little south. You were looking for this dude, whatever their name is, Kevin. Didn't know that. More importantly, the tops of this octagon thingy. This is where we're going to do our first bit of shopping. So, we talk to this annoying mage who doesn't want to talk to us or sell things. So we just talk to him again, mash 1, and hooray, we're allowed to sell things. So remember that option 3 we used on Not Czar? That got us that little bit of extra money so that we just have to sell our Wand of Magic Missile, and then we can identify all 3 items. Handy dandy that. We're going to sell these 2, make some money, and then we're going to do our first menuing shopping piece. We are looking for 2 pots of explosions. This is a 66 Fireball. Stand away from where you are casting this. You will kill yourself, especially when we use them. We then grab a Potion of Freedom, some protection from magic, which we won't use until quite a bit later on. Down a bit more for 2 Mirror Images. This is to increase our dodge chance. It creates a number of images around us, which make missile attacks and melee attacks miss more frequently. But if the image is hit, it leaves, which then increases the odds that which image gets hit, or you, is going to be you. So, we use that later, obviously. We buy all 3 invisibility schools. And I feel like I'm missing something. So we should have notes in front of me. Pot, magic. Some mirror images. Some invisibility. Yeah. Seems like it. Money seems high is why I'm commenting on this. What is my disliked? Where it should be. Cool. Alright. So, we've got Algernon's cloak. Just put that on. Got some of this. We got some of those. And we're going to put these on. So, none of that's going to get used until we make it to our first chapter objective. We'll cover that when we get there. So we leave High Hedge. Our offensive spin is often not going to be sufficient to get us to the edge of the map. So we just rest again and spin to the edge of the map. Before you exit, rest, get ambushed. And then we're just going to scooter our way west. There's a random spawn skeleton there. You hope they don't exist, but nothing you can do about it sometimes. This particular map has only one exit, and that's up and to the left. That's just something to know in case it happens to you. So, we make it to where we're going, which we traveled from High Hedge to this forest plat to this sea dune area. Okay? We rested, we're going to spin, we're just going to head due. We're going to get talked to by this person. Either option, doesn't matter. Then we want to get close to this guy, because if you click on them to talk, you pause in place, and then they walk to you. Whereas if you don't click on them, you can walk to them, and you're faster, so it's faster. Bragg here poses us with a riddle. The answer is 4-1. There is a quest that we never bothered to pick up that we just got the reward for. In the city of Naskill here. So we just gained some money, some reputation, and some experience, which is fantastic, as well as a shiny new two-handed sword that we're going to sell. So we just boogie out of here. We get some storyline info, and then we wander down here. Same idea with this guy. He wants to talk to us, so we get as close to him as possible to let him do so. We don't care what he says, so we just mash out of that and head down the road. So just follow the road, and then detour to cut that corner, and then we take the bridge. That's Nuber. Nuber wants to talk to you. Nuber has nothing important to say. Don't talk to Nuber. So now we're going to go to the mines. As always, rest, spin, and we're heading west. heading west past the stairs to this tree trunk. Another hidden item here. Very important one. That is our Wand of Frost. We use that to do most of our killing. So we wander down some stairs. We talk to this guy. He's the master of the mines. He's the one that's going to let us in. We then talk to the center soldier. Only the center soldier. And now we have access. So, I take this opportunity to do some more inventory, do some leveling, put these items on. So we are also going to rest, so that we can get our spin back. So, as we spin, we are going to avoid this guy. He wants to talk to us. So we scoot around the outside, down this mine shaft. Now we want to stop before this junction. There's another guy who wants to talk to us right about there. So, we're going to cast invisibility. Oof. Now, he doesn't want to talk to us, because he can't see us. Alright, so we went down, past the dude, through the door. This guy would get ambushed. We'd have to fight kobolds. We don't like that. Once your offensive spin has run out, we use one of these white potions, Oils of Speed. They're great. Zoom, zoom. So, we're headed up. Don't click on the kobolds. This is a friendly reminder that if you have the AI turned on, to turn it off. I never noticed until now because I'm not in combat. But as soon as you see health bars above your head, that means somebody tried to attack. Or somebody tried to attack you. So, we want to be in full control of our actions, so we turn the AI off. So, there is a ring there. There's no reason to pick it up. So we just zoom on past. So, this little section of intersections just takes a little bit of memorization. Follow the track straight, and then just keep going like it was a straight line until you reach kind of a split, and then you're heading south. Now, the reason why we leveled earlier is because right around here is a trap. Boosh. Now, that trap can do anywhere from 3 to 9 damage. If you were level 1 still, you only have 8 health, trap has a chance to kill you. No good. This is also why we have our health pots equipped now. So we can heal some of that damage off in prep. Alright. So we zoom past the kobolds. We go through, once again, keeping to the kind of straight path until you reach Pool of Water. Pool of Water, head south, and loop back around through the army. They all hurt. So, this is my first opportunity that I like to put a quick save in. I do it before every rest, but this is the first important one. There are 2 traps right here. You should be fast enough if you just click on the exit to make it through no problem. That's great. If you run into a problem, it's as easy as quick loading. And it's that fast. Quick load. Done. So, it's also important because coming up is our first real fight. So we wander into this cave. And this, sometimes, if I have forgotten to turn my AI off, is where I get myself into trouble. Because I would still be in technical combat with things outside and not be allowed to quick save. But we remembered, so that is the best point to try and put a save down if you can. Otherwise, failing that, in your load screen, there is an autosave right before you entered the cave. So, does it matter a whole lot? No. But it is one button press versus a load game to the autosave. So. Alright. The fight. The gist of what we're going to do is we're going to charm this dude. We are going to send him to go fight the kobolds, and then we are going to wand him and shoot him with fireballs until he dies. The goal here is to stay just out of his sight range. because he likes to talk to you too. And he likes to talk to you again once he's hurt, and he likes to talk to you again if he wants to run away. So, if he can't see us, he can't talk to us. The charm only lasts as long as we don't damage him. Being that we want him dead, it's not going to last long. So, remember Algernon's cloak? That's what we're using. We are using Algernon's cloak to charm him. So here we go. So, good. If you see, he saves with the breath weapon. We have failed to charm him. Let's load it back up. Fight is immediately over. Try again. So, he's charmed. Good. Now we can move him. We can use his spells. We can do kind of whatever we want. There's really nothing special with him. I just move him up to about this corner. That corner. It doesn't quite matter. There's some kobolds here who are going to come attack him. I take control of my character again, and I loot his chest. I take everything up to the gold, and then the identity. Okay? I then open up the item menu, identify that wand we found in the tree outside the mines, and I equip that. I equip my potions of explode. And that's it. So, now, he's trying to cast a spell, which is fine. And notice that he's just outside of visible range. Doesn't work for once, so we gotta wander our way up just a bit. Be careful where you cast, shoot him with the wand, and get back out of sight. And then, cast a fireball. Everything in this takes rounds. So, once you complete an action, there is a period of waiting before you can do another action. But you can preload what that action is going to be. So, we fireballed. We killed some kobolds, hence the experience popping up here. You are looking for that 650 experience. That means Mullahay died, which is important. So now we can open up our quick loot menu. So, remember before when I said that I don't have to walk over corpses? This is why. All of these little bits, if I wanted to, I could walk over to them, click on them, I'll just show you. Get a little menu that shows me everything that monster had. Pain. So, quick loot. We're going to take boots, ring, this sigil, and some minor chump change. It's not necessary, but hey. We are then going to level, and then dipski. We're headed out of here. Main story quest boxes like this cannot be dialogue skipped, but they can be cutscene skipped. So for me, that's escape. On our way out, we are no longer invisible. So we are just trying to move as quickly as possible and hope that these guys don't do a ton of damage. And we're just going to run around the edge of this giant lake, get attacked by some oozes, and leave. Head west, out of the cave. This is considered a storyline thing. So this is the introduction of your innate abilities. We don't care. Skip through it. We're going to the carnival, because we are going to do shopping part 2. So, since we rested, offensive spin, down through the tents, down the road, to the north of this tent, we're going in this tent. Now, this guy is the only shopkeeper in the world who has his shop option on 2. So, push 2. We are then going to identify all of our mystery items, and then we're going to sell all of our mystery items. Then we're going to buy just one necklace. That's it. And then we're done with this menu. Out we go. So this part's a tad tricky, because there's going to be two people we're trying to dodge, and we're trying to rest before we head into Naskill again. So, the object is that one of the guys who wants to talk to us is here, one of them's over here, so we just try and shortcut our way down and get into Fog of War again before we hit the edge. Just like that. So now we can rest without them talking to us. The carnival is nice. 0 chance for random encounters. It's a free rest. So here we are back in Naskill. As always, offensive spin. We're coming up here to talk to this guy who wanted to talk to us when we first arrived. He was the one who gave us our quest to go do something about those mines. So hi. We did good. And now we're just going to leave. But before we leave, we're going to get attacked. Hi. Push 1 is the quickest option to get out of it. Now, the issue is, this guard here is also going to try and talk to us, which could pose a problem. Nimble here is going to cast Mirror Image first. The second spell he's going to cast is Horror. And if you get Horrored, you're going to run around aimlessly without being able to control yourself for a solid minute. So, if you can, avoid him. If you can't, run scared. Alright, so because of the menuing we did earlier, when I went south out of Baragast into High Hedge, we unlocked this path. And as we are now going north out of Naskill, we unlocked this. So now we have a continuous path from Naskill back. To Baragast is where we're heading, but we want offensive spin, so High Hedge first. We made it, we rest, and that's one of those instances of we got ambushed. During the night, we get attacked. So we just reload, re-rest, and head back. Back to Baragast, back to the Jovial Juggler, I think. Feldpost, one of these inns. So this time we're just going to go immediately upstairs, and we're just going to kill somebody else from this inn. We're going to use our wand first. Now, the trick to this fight is you want to wand and be moving away when the wand strikes. This guy is a mage, and if he thinks that he is in combat, aka you are in sight, he will cast armor, which is then going to reduce the amount of damage your fireballs are going to do. So we had a really good melee fight in Naskill. Normally we use both of our potions of explosion. So what that means now is that I get to use potion of explosion and then start using charges at my necklace that I bought. So let's see how this goes. Wand first. Try to be moving away when that happens. That wasn't great, but he's not trying to cast armor. So then we fireball, put on our necklace, see if he's trying to run out. Doesn't look like it. Fireball again. He's saving all of his spells. Oh, see. This is where it gets a little interesting. Because, as we explained, Fireball is an AoE. Fireball hurt. No, bad. There we go. So ideally you would be able to do that all in his room. But, as is often the case, when his morale fails and he runs erratically. There's only so much you can do. So we're grabbing both magical items and that letter. That letter is extremely important. Don't forget the letter. But as soon as we pick it up, we drop it. We don't want it. We don't need it. The quest has been triggered. We now know that there are bandits involved. So, we rested again so that we could go out. It is faster to exit to the south than it is the way we came in. So we head to Peldville. So now we see traveling hours are getting up there, 28 hours. We highly expect to get ambushed once on our way there. We arrive, we rest, we exit west. That is to unlock this farm joint. That is for later. But now, we go back, we spin, and we head north.
Help me.
We just keep going.
If you don't help me,
She might die. That's fine. She's not part of the speedrun.
indeed.
Alright, so we're walking up to some ruins up here. I use this as a safe spot because there's a random spawn hobgoblin that occurs right about there. So now I do a little more menuing. My scrolls of invisibility are still on, and then I equip this potion of absorption I picked up from Mulahay's chest in Nazca. I cast. And then shame myself for not resting. You should be offensive spinning after you cast your invisibility. However, I did not follow my own rule. So we wander through invisible, through all this bandit camp, just kind of up through the trees, past all these dudes, into this tent. While we are in the tent, we're going to chug this potion. We are going to wander over to this chest and open it. Get attacked. You are going to grab these 2 scrolls and this gauntlet. Then a storyline thing's going to pop up. Quit out of that. Pause quick so you don't get noticed. And then cast invisibility on yourself again. Now, the nice thing is, none of these, even if you stood there for a couple seconds, wondering what you're supposed to be doing next, nobody in that room is going to notice you until you move. Which is why you can get away with casting invisibility again. Then you just saunter your way out into the north. So now, as the storyline intentionally goes, we have uncovered a plot to weaken the iron of the region. Something was happening in the Nazca mines there. The bandits are involved somehow to create scarcity. And now we find out that there's a secret mine somewhere in a place called Cloakwood. So we're going to go check that out and see what we can do about it. So, when we exited from the bandit camp, we went here. The reason we go here is because of our placement. We get placed wonderfully right on the edge of this map, as well as it being a convenient place to rest. So here's another one of our abilities.
It is done.
We wander into the Cloakwood, and we go, "Hi. Hi, Cloakwood. We don't like you. You are angry. You are ambushy. There are webs. There are things that can stun you. There are poison things. There's just a lot of things that can try and kill you here." So, we run away to the north. We do a little inventory. Try and make this a slightly more pleasant experience. Because of what we're going to do next. We're going to be running like a ninny. Followed by that, we're going to do a small bit of combat. So now, we equip the Potion of Freedom we bought back in High Hedge. Both of our mirror images. And I like to put on the health pots. It is not necessary. So, I'll try and do this right. And I'll put on the pot of speed instead. Alright. So, always rest before you exit. So we can get through things like that. Rest before we continue. Alright, this map in particular is full of traps. So, as I was saying earlier, when tab reveals hidden things, but not traps, it would be wonderful if it did. Then we could avoid them, maybe. So, watch carefully. I'll explain at the end what happened, because I can't do this one slow motion. I'm not good enough yet. Fence a spin, like always. I missed it.
It is done.
As darkness falls,
Okay. So, we're getting attacked a bunch here, which is unfortunate. But it's Cloakwood, that's what it does. So I'll put another quick save there, and then we're going to run. Okay, we're in the clear. So, there are 3 places, sometimes 4, where traps are going to spring webs at you. First is right here. Now, if you are fast enough, you can make it till you spring the second trap, before the first trap even hits you. I've done it a few times, it's not consistent. So, there's also about a 50% chance that this trap just isn't there. I have also found if you can hug that top tree line, you trigger it less often. So then you wander up here, there's occasionally spiders that are trying to poison you, and then the second trap triggers in this opening here, right south of all those ghasts. So, we equipped that Potion of Freedom. And what Potion of Freedom does is grants a bonus action every round. And in this case, it's saves. So, based on our level, our abilities, and the potion helping us, we can guarantee that we will always save versus the web spell, which allows us to keep moving. The unfortunate portion of it is that it cancels the movement buff of offensive spin. So you want to wait as long as possible before you use it to keep the extra movement speed of offensive spin. Alright? So this map, don't rest before you exit, because it's dangerous. So we rested, we spun, and we head east. Just follow the river. Just keep going, and you made it. Rest. So you're looking for this before you make it to the mines. This is the ability we are going to need. Horror. You'll see how that gets used shortly. So there's our spiders. Don't let them hit you. They poison. You have no antidotes. You die. So, in this map, don't go too far south. There is a pair of dryads down here. They're fairly high-level casters, and they will certainly kill you. Kind of just follow the road, what's left of it. There's occasionally a bandit here. Just ignore him, keep running. And go, follow the road. Past this. And there's the exit. Okay. Rest to the mines.
Certainly.
Now, because of what we're going to be doing, I put on health pots now, for sure. Because we're about to do one big fight, and then there's a long sequence of running where you're likely going to be taking some hits. So, health, you die, and if it's a long sequence where you're always being attacked, there's no place to save, and there's 2 just large areas that are very costly if you have to go back and do it again. So, let me explain the fight a little bit before we get into it. There's 2 guards sitting right here that you are going to lure towards you on this end of the bridge, and you are going to cast Horror on them. What Horror does is they wander around aimlessly, generally away from you. It's not exact science, but the idea is that you can keep both of the guards on this end of the bridge while you fight more people on the other end of the bridge. So you're just reducing body count. So let's do that section. See if that goes well. Oh, he saved. So we're just going to try that again. You need both of them.
Indeed.
I didn't rest. There we go.
Indeed.
There we go. Wait a second. There. Okay. Oh, he saved again.
It is done.
Come on. Cast your spell.
It is done.
That is remarkable. It's about a 70 or 80% chance that they get feared during this. There you go. So, they both get out of Fog of War. That's great. So we're going to cast Mirror Image on ourselves, and then we're just going to start hawking fireballs. So, you want to stand somewhere kind of on this line, and you're going to lob into 4 or 5 dudes. I think it's 4. And your most important one that you're after here is Drasus. Drasus is the one that tries to talk to you. As we know, we don't like talking. So, we just lob fireballs until he dies. So, that's resident. It's no good. Here's a guy who's going to try and lob stuff at us. Drasus still isn't dead. Drasus still isn't dead. Drasus still isn't dead. There he is. Okay. So now we wander forward. It is rare to have all 4 of these guys dead. Normally the guy who's hucking stuff at you is still alive. We're going to take the gold, the robes, the shoes, and that's it. Okay? We don't need this note. It doesn't provide us with anything useful. But we're going to sell all of this stuff later. So you want to have a pretty inventory, have a pretty inventory. Now, these boots are the most important boots in the game. These are our boots of speed. The boots of the cheetah, whatever they wanted to call themselves. And they're wonderful. So, at the end of our little skirmish on the outside here, you are looking for boots on, mirror image on, oil of speed on. I like having pots, but if you want to be efficient, you would put on your scroll of protect from magic. Efficient I am not. So, take the opportunity as you wander up to level. Doesn't matter where you put your skill point at all. just follow the path, because there is only one direction to go. Dodge him. Go south-ish. You're looking for this staircase to get revealed so that you can open this door more effectively. Okay? I like to pause immediately upon entering so I can click this staircase without being immediately murdered or surrounded. Biggest issue, surrounded. Same idea for the bottom of that staircase.
Certainly.
So then we're just going to run. We're going to run south. We're going to take this center branch of the South Fork, as opposed to any others. Partway down this, we're going to cast our next mirror image and chug our next speed pot. And then I like to save here. It's the same place as the autosave, but again, quick load is faster for me than menuing. So, this is our first big run section on the Cloakwood Mines. You are going to be dodging a lot of things. There is going to be archers, there are going to be guards, there's going to be ghasts, there's just all manner of pain. And if you get stuck, you are most likely going to die. Just reload, try again. So, you'll probably get to see this happen a few times.
Certainly.
So, our first obstacle is this. There's a hidden door here. You just kind of have to hope your character rolls well to discover it. This is why we level up before we come into this section. So, that is a large variable time where you have the potential to just get stuck, try again. Now I wander down here. Ghast 1, just zoom past. Don't wait. This one, try and lead him up a little bit to give yourself a little extra time. In this case, doesn't look like we're going to make it. Nope. Okay, try again. If you end up getting stuck talking to him, option 3, and then it becomes kind of a roadblock for the other ones, which is great. Give him a moment, and then zoom past. Best you can. And then you get frozen, so try again. Do. I don't know. Some days it feels like clicking helps. Other days, it obviously doesn't.
Certainly. Certainly.
Doors are the worst. So. Come on, door.
It is done. Certainly.
So this would be considered a junk run at this point. Like 3-4 tries is kind of the limit on this. But we're trying to show you
It is done.
everything.
Certainly.
So as much time as possible, or just get
I am
whacked.
Indeed.
So there used to be a nice skip where you'd be able to pause buffer attacks, which means they would never land. Unfortunately, it got patched out.
done.
Come on, door. Come on, door. Jesus. There it goes. Alright. You mash 2 through that guy, and then you are actually able to force this door. So we attack the door. It's locked. And then we just wander our way down. Big room. Run like an idiot. And you follow the tiny skinny hallway. Down, 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 down. Okay. So, this is kind of the final room of the Cloakwood Mines. So this is where I menu again. I put on my Kill People wand and my Protection from Magic. So, once again, we're relying on a hidden door here. So we want to kind of kite this guy around while we wait for ourselves to discover that door. Because after he tries to talk to us, he tries to kill us. So, hide in the corner, and then just kind of gently kite him. Usually 2's good enough. It gets usually is the operative term there. This is why I put on my pots. There's my door. Cool. Now, I'm low on health. This could be interesting. But, door open. Protection from magic on. Wait. Here. There are traps right there. And then there is a mage who's going to kick your ass if you're not careful. So, protection from magic before you go in the hallway. Now that it's on, we wander in. So, there's mage. Mage is going to summon something called a battle horror. Battle horrors are very high combat statted, fiery weapon wielding death machines. Avoid them. So we're going to make use of our oil of speed and our, oil of speed's worn off, our boots of haste, so that we can continue to avoid combat while shooting wand blasts at the mage. Now he's going to try and talk to us. Well, he's going to succeed in talking to us. And then he's going to use Dimension Door into this room. So we're just going to wait for him to do that. And then we're going to wander. So he's going to cast Dimension Door again, and he's going to end up in his room. So we're just going to follow him and wand him again. And then we're going to get out of that hallway, because that's dangerous. And if you spot him kind of like that, he's going to Dimension Door back into this room. And that was super quick. Normally he takes at least 4, sometimes 6 or 7 wand blasts to kill. So it's very common to end with your wand at like 2 charges. So just be aware that that was an unusual amount of damage to be done. Okay? So the unfortunate portion of Wand of Frost is that it freezes the enemy. So now we have to kind of wait around for his stuff, which means they have an opportunity to kill us. There we go. We just need the key. That's all we need from him. Then we leave through here. Alright, so we're going to go down to the the main junction. This is where we went south earlier. And then we're going to go up in this direction. Talk to this guy. We're going to say, hi, we'll set you free. And then we're going to hand him the key. And we're going to get teleported outside the mine because we flooded them. Important. Talk to this guy. Reason for this. Remember Algernon? The guy we killed for his cloak? Killing innocent civilians reduces your reputation, which is an in-game metric for modifying price point, essentially. It also unlocks or locks conversation options. So, in order to do what we want to do, we need to be at average reputation. If you forget to talk to this guy, you are going to be one short. You're going to be at reputation 9, which is still disliked. So, important, talk to that guy. But all we're going to do, once we leave the mines, is leave the mines. I'm going to chug a pot now, just to save time. Alright, so now we're going to head to this farm. As I said earlier, about every 2 hours you have a chance to get attacked. We have about 72 hours of travel. Expect between 3 and 4 encounters. If you are lucky, you'll only get a couple. Perfect. So, since we have our boots of speed, of the cheetah or haste, whatever they actually are called, we no longer have to use offensive spin. Everything we are going to do is going to revolve around oils of speed and the spell haste. So, farm country, follow the road north. Simple as that. We then go to the gate.
Certainly.
Just follow the bridge. We are headed into Baldur's Gate, our last shopping spree of the game. A lot of dialogue, story-heavy, conversation-y stuff. And then into our last 3 fights that we have to do. So, this is kind of like the 2/3 point of the game. Up until now, it's kind of been fairly steady of interaction between talking and moving. And this time, it's going to be a lot of talking, not as much moving. So, playing with this mercenary, he doesn't actually care where you come from, so we just push button. Scar. Scar is going to be our key to getting through this as quickly as possible. So, his options for this are 2, 3, 1. More or less, we agree to do him a favor. We're going to investigate some disturbance into some noble's house, and yada yada. Doesn't really matter. Beware, Elminster. Run. So we dodge the old man, head down this not quite alley into the dome of magic. Talk to our shopkeep, identify our stuff, and then promptly sell it. So you should have somewhere on the order of, like 16.5 to 17,000 gold. That should be plenty. A dead giveaway that your reputation isn't high enough is that you won't be able to afford everything we're about to buy. So, what we're buying? We are buying 3 potions of invisibility. We are buying 3 potions of speed. We are buying 1 protection of magic scroll, 1 spell of slow, both spells of invisibility, 1 spell of haste, 1 spell of chaos, and 1 wand of monster summoning. So this should cost right around 13,000 gold. Okay. Optional things you can toy around with if you are feeling brave. If you want to clear certain sections potentially faster, and I haven't tested this yet, would be to pick up some additional potions of explosion. And that is for 2 specific fights that come up later, and I'll try and point out when. Okay? That's it. That's our shopping. So we leave. So, at this point, I'm going to put on... I want both spells of haste. Buy both spells of haste.
Yes.
Haste. There we go. There's the 13,000.
It is done.
So, we're going to cast haste on ourselves. That's going to double our doubled movement speed. So you're going to head kind of that southwest into the center city, and you're just immediately going to exit to the south. And then you're going to do your best to avoid this guy. It's kind of a goofy movement. Not the end of the world, it's a one-option dialogue. So, this guy is all of the informant we need to discover that there are doppelgangers here. All we have to do is run up to him, say it's madness, push 2, and there's our journal entry update. So we head out of there and into the southwest corner. Now, head south, up this street, and then south again into the Flaming Fist Fortress. We talked to our dude Scar. We told him we didn't learn anything.
It is done.
Option 1, we talk to him immediately outside again. Option 2, we then meet his boss. His boss is going to accuse him of things, and that's fine. So, we're going to push 2, 3, 1, and then talk to him again, 3. We are then magically transported to Candlekeep after being handed a book. So, option 2, just run. We're going to get stopped by a guy here who pretends to know us, and we're just going to tell him, I'm sorry, I'm busy. Option 3.
Certainly.
Alright, so there's a few people to try and avoid here. He's one of them. Doesn't always work, but if you just kind of mash any of the options, they're all the same length. Doesn't matter. You're then going to try and talk to this guy first. You're going to push 2, 3. And then you're going to get stuck by this guy, which happens. Option 3 for him. So I'd like to take this opportunity, since we just received a fancy new ring, which is going to help us on our final fight against Saravak with our saving throws. And that all that does is prevent the potential for additional damage later. So we're done healing forever. We don't heal again. We're not going to use haste for a little while. Just going to take that off and replace it with the oils of speed. We need that additional haste for a later fight. We need to put on our wand of monster summoning and our wand of killing people. So, up we go.
Certainly.
Up we go.
It is done.
Oh, no, I lied. Hold up. Inventory. Let's try this again. We're about to get jailed. And we're about to have to escape from jail. So first thing we need is our scrolls of invisibility. Still need the oils of speed, and it's still okay to have the wand of monster summoning. But you need invisibility first before you need to kill anybody. Alright?
Certainly.
So, we're just going upstairs, upstairs, upstairs. We're going to get talked to this guy. Doesn't matter. Push 2. We want to be jailed. Because if you fight him, then he summons a bunch of dudes. It's a whole debacle, and then you end up jailed anyway. So this guy comes in. He's a dick. Doesn't matter, option 1 or option 2, only one dialogue option. Only one dialogue sequence. And then we wait for our jailbreak. And we go, hi, thanks for helping us, teleport us away. 2-1. So now, we're in the basement of Candlekeep, this place we grew up. And we are going to cast visibility on ourselves, start moving, and then drink our pot of speed. And then we're just going to head down the main pathways. So, for this section, they would try and kill you. Wander down to the lake, take the left side. Take the left side to the bridge. Take this second south exit into the basilisk pit. And then we exit here. And then it's faster for me to just map over and then patiently wait. And we're headed straight back to where we came from. Okay?
It is done.
Now there's a pair of flaming fist guys there that we really need to dodge. Super important that you dodge them. Super important that you dodge him too. But alright, you need to talk to the Duke. It's important to talk to the Duke. You end up with his body, but more importantly, you end up with this letter. That letter is part of our evidence against Sarabak. Oh dear. We yell at Kent, because Kent doesn't know what he's doing. So he's there, so we're going to go to his north side. And because I am bad at dodging the rest of them, I cast invisibility again. Alright. So, let's explain a little bit more about what just happened there. We go back into the Flaming Fist Keep. You avoid people, unlike me. You talk to the Duke. He's the guy in the bed. You end up with his body because of the other guy who's standing there who's going to try and pin the Duke's murder on you. Drop the body because we're weak and we can't carry it around. Being over encumbered means you can't move. Exit the keep as quickly as possible. If you are like me and bad at dodging NPCs, cast invisibility. That should be your second invisibility scroll. Head back to the center section of the city, and you'll end up where we are now. Okay? So, in the center section, you're going to head to the left and up this staircase. So there's another pair of flaming fists that I would struggle to dodge. And then we're headed out to the north, into the north. We'll be back to this section later. So follow the outside. This street is terrible, but you get used to it. And then into the northwest corner. The reason we take that particular pathing is there is no northern exit from this area. So we have to arrive to this particular inn in the means that we did.
Certainly.
Wander up, wander down to the basement, ignore him. He's going to talk to us on the way out, but we don't care. We're going to cast Monster Summoning, put on our wand to kill things. Again, we had an unusually good fight in the mines, so I have a lot more charges than I'm used to. I always have at least one, and And we are going to use that one on this figure up here, Slythe. Slythe can kick your butt, which is why we surround ourselves with ogres and hobgoblins. So, we want him. We get talked to, which is unfortunate. Wand him, and then run away. And we use our monsters, which that was a terrible summon. There's like 3 of them. So you can have up to 5 monsters available on the screen at any given time. So try and keep at least 2, because Slythe does a lot of damage. That went reasonably well, frankly. All you need off of Slythe is these 2 letters. You can ignore everything else. Okay? We're going to wander our way out, but not before we level. Avoid talking to people. We are going to head to the center section. This, again, is to help avoid additional running. If we just go into the northeast, north center here, we're going to end up where we exited to get into where we are now, which means a longer run than what's about to happen. So if we go to the center, we end up on the north side of the map, just immediately exit, and then we end up here, whereas we would have ended up there. Okay? Wander up here. You try not to talk to him, but that's okay. You do talk to this Bill. Bill is our friend. So, we say, "Hi, here's my invitation. Option 2. Wander in, immediately pass by everything that you can, and summon your monsters. Okay? We're then going to do some more inventory. We should be done with our monsters. So we put on some haste, slow, and our chaos. Okay? First spell we're going to cast is haste. Hi, bud. The second Flaming Fist card, the invitation option is 3. And this just helps clarify everything for them so that they don't try and kill us. So, standing right up here is going to be Sarevok. And it turns out all of the nobles that are currently in this room are actually doppelgangers. So we're in for one heck of a fight at the moment. So up we go. And then we just mash. So, they're all about to turn into doppelgangers. So, all of these fancy floppy-headed dudes. So, we are going to get ready to cast Chaos immediately. So, as soon as they turn, we cast, and now they're not going to do anything to us, hopefully. We then cast Slow. And then you just kind of do some chip damage at him whenever you can. Because he attacked me, I'm just going to do a little healing. 2 things for this fight that are kind of important. One, the doppelgangers are going to be erratic. So, they can try and attack you, they might not try and attack you, some of them might try and run away to rooms where they can't be found. And in really bad situations where it takes forever for them to die, like this one, when chaos wears off, they will try and kill you. Alright, so as soon as they are all dead, you are looking for the guy named Belt. There he is. Hi. So you hand him some papers. There are 2 ways to go about that, either 1-2 or 2-1. Doesn't matter. So now, Sarevok's going to be evil. Try and kill us. Here, now. We don't want that. We want to stay kind of close to Belt. Because as soon as Sarevok takes some damage, he's going to teleport away. Which means that we can talk to Belt. We want to do that as quickly as possible so that we can also teleport away.
It is done.
So now we're in the Thieves' Maze. This is kind of the start of the last official dungeon, so it's meant to be kind of a culmination of all your D&D experiences, your last dungeon crawl with a whole bunch of tricky puzzles and monsters. We're just going to ignore all of it. So I'm going to put on my protection from magic scroll, my pot of invisibility, and my last pot of speed. Okay? So,
Certainly.
we're going to get talked to by this guy. It doesn't matter. Anything will go. So now we're going to cast our bubble. We're going to start moving, because again it takes a little bit of time between actions. Our second is actually going to be our pot of invisibility. I know we should probably do the speed first, but I've run into issues with, once I'm fast, I run into these slimes. Once I run into slimes, I start taking damage again. So, don't do that. Alright, I don't have a good description for how to do this, so I'm just going to go through it and then draw it out on the map for you when I get to the end. The reason we put our magic shield on now, as opposed to right before the final fight, is because we have to do traps. Up, down, around. Yay. We didn't die. Hooray. Alright, here's the exit. So, you start, there's the dying man. You go up, left, up, follow the mandatory path. Take the second right, follow the mandatory path, mandatory, and then take your first exit, and then take your first exit, and then take your left. And here you are. Okay? That's the maze. We used to be able to clip through a wall, but it got patched out. Go figure. Here is the final section, and there's the first final fight, by first final fight. Here's the exit. So, what we're about to do is put these on, because I'm scared. They aren't necessary. Saravok hits like a truck. He has several mages here, and he's got another paladin type person here. There's going to be a whole lot of magic flying around. None of it really matters. So what we're going to do is we're going to walk up. He's going to talk to us. We're just going to match one. And then we are going to run back to the skull. On the skull, there's a trap on this eye, trap on this eye, trap on the nose. Okay? These traps, unlike every trap previously, reset. So, every round you can trigger all three of them. So that's the goal, is go up, trigger Saravok, immediately drink another potion of invisibility, and then dance around on these traps. And the traps are what's going to kill. So, let's see how this goes. Didn't trigger quite right, so need to attack. There it goes. I need to stay away from him. So I drink this. There we go. not the best.
Certainly.
Do. So ideally, he'd be in front of you, and he would be taking a lot more damage from these.
Yes, it is done.
But
I am indeed.
you know what? Let's just try it again.
Certainly. Indeed. I must have aid. I am he indeed.
That's just not working well either.
It is done.
Okay.
It is done.
Okay. It's a much better placement.
I am indeed.
Look at all that damage we did. There you go. That is a nice, slow guide on how to do a Baldur's Gate speedrun. So, good luck, have fun, and hopefully we'll see you around.